was well, find them and grind them on the gear selection there. Don't hate me, because I don't really care. Once in a while it happens. It's just something happens. Once in a while. Monday, it is currently 9:20, and you're thinking to yourself, what are you doing on a Monday running? Well, since it's a holiday week, I'll run first thing in the morning because, well, we're going to end up running on Thanksgiving in the morning. And regardless of what I was doing this week, if I have to go get my daughter Wednesday night, she lives in Fort Wayne, so I got to go up and get her. She has to work. She said she gets done at 9:15ish, so I'll be up there about 9:30. Asked her, do you want to come with me on Thursday and run some loads? She said, yeah, sure. I said, good, because then you can run the camera for me. Maybe we can do some stuff, you know, things that I can't normally do because I don't have the hands or somebody with me. You know what I mean? When the wife comes with me, she don't get out anywhere unless it's to go to the bathroom. And, you know, she's run the camera a couple times for me, no big deal, but I'll let my kid run it and see how she likes it. That way she can kind of get used to it. And I think I see my cousin in here, Chris Keegan, but I think he's over there. I'm not going to be able to get him, I don't think, because where he's at. But yeah, he's up in here. And just scan the barcode there. Now it's going to tell me where to go for anybody who doesn't realize that when I have done this before. Anybody who's a new subscriber, which anybody who doesn't know, thanks if you're a new subscriber, but that's what I got to do when I come in here. I got to scan that barcode, which I put all the information for the trailer into this app on my phone, and it gives me that barcode to where I can come in here. That tells me what transfer lane I'm going to, okay? I'm going to 118, I hit next. I'm picking up an empty container in 2,119. So as I'm going down to 118, I'm going to look on the other side because the 2000s are over here on the left. I'm going to look on that side, find my trailer, make sure it's there. That way I don't have to worry about anything. It is. We doing it. One more load to do and then I'm done. I got over to the point about 20 after 4, it was 4:20, and grabbed my first load and just haven't looked back yet. I had to call the dispatch office one time because I didn't have the booking for this Macomb, and you know, if they wouldn't have had it, because she's like, I don't got it, and finally she got it. If she didn't have by the time I got over here, I'd just say, give me the end of the day, I'm going home, I'm done with it, you know. So, but it's the place that's 6 miles down the road, so it's super convenient. This guy's gonna let me go out. Sorry, buddy, you gotta get her moving here. But yeah, it's a lot more busy now than what I'd like to deal with. That's why I always come in here at nighttime or in the afternoon. I don't usually start until 3 because I don't want to deal with this kind of stuff. 2119 should be down the road because there's the 2019, so a lot more trucks in here right now than what there would be if I was coming. I mean, when I first come in at, you know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because I usually don't get over here until about 4:15, 4:30ish, and you know, there'll be some people in here, but nothing like what it's like during the day when you come in, and everybody's always stopping and staring. It's like, look, I've been coming in here for a long time, folks. Just because you're new doesn't mean you got to give me those looks. this guy's doing, but hopefully he stops and try to bust a Huey right in front of me, because I'm not really sure what he's doing. It's hard to read people's minds, especially like this guy's just running with a chassis. I don't know if he's going to crank it and try to back into one of these spots or what, but it's a complicated situation. It's like, we call it controlled chaos, because you know, you got to be aware of your surroundings at all time when there's 20 to 30 trucks in here doing different things, and I totally missed the number that I was looking for that empty container, but I'm almost positive it's going to be where it's going to be. There's old Patty Cake. He runs in some old iron. 430022. He was one of the original members of this company when they first opened and started running out here. I think he's been running out here for 10 to 12 years. He's been doing this stuff. So 118, I just drove by my thing. So we're going to crank her around right here, because we got enough space and nobody's behind us. So we're just going to jackknife it real quick and go where we need to. Schneider doesn't get any big ideas here, we should be good. So yeah, that's what's going on today, and so not bad, you know, so far. We gotta go up by Pat. Sitting there talking about him, and that's where we gotta go, up by him. Actually, we gotta go right next to the Schneider guy. No, we gotta go right next to freaking Pat. I'm just gonna back up and wait for him to go, because, well, his shit's kind of big and I don't really feel like dealing with back around it. So yeah, that's what it is. Look at that long ass thing. I don't want to back around that if I don't have to. I mean, I could, but I'd just rather not deal with it. Not in that much of a hurry, so it's really not that big of a deal. But had a gentleman comment yesterday on one of the videos, said he just picked up a 1984 K100, pretty much spec like the blue truck. So he is going to be working that thing, and he was telling me about some drafts he was having in his truck. Jeremy Perry was his name, and I just told him, you know, check down at the floor, the door seals, where the cables or the shifter comes in, and things like that. Now, when I get home, I'm going to take care of a couple things, and I'll get your eyes on that, because this, where the steering wheel rubber is down here, that boot, where that boot is, look at Pat, he's getting a hustle on now. Where that boot is, it still leaks a little bit of air, and I've got a big chunk of foam, that stuff that's like 2x2 or whatever, inch by inch solid foam, that's the strips. I'm going to wrap that stuff up around it, and that's what I'll shove up in there. And say what you want to about me.
Yeah, I don't want to hold up a good man.
It's all right. I got one more to do, and then I'm done. So ain't in too much of a hurry there.
Yep, I'm done after this.
Yeah, I'll be headed that way shortly. Be careful. So that's what I'll do with that, and then I've got a couple other things, you know, and just kind of the clothing you wear is important too. You just can't wear a pair of blue jeans or, you know, tennis shoes in a truck like this. And for anybody that does this all the time, knows exactly what I'm talking about, or drives an older truck like this. And I don't, you know, I know that some of the people in overseas that drive cabovers and stuff like that, I'm sure that they're more well insulated than what these are. So don't worry about commenting. I know you deal with cold weather and stuff, and you know, you just got to be smart about what you wear, and you got to know what the temperature is going to be like and things like that. This morning when I walked outside, it was 30 degrees. It said it felt like 23. Well, I was an idiot yesterday. I was in the garage messing around doing some things, and I took my cord that I plugged the truck in with, and I unplugged it from the wall, and I plugged something else in because I needed to use a charger up for something else, my phone maybe, and I forgot to plug it back in. Well, I went out this morning, plugged the truck in, and I plugged it in like normal, but I forgot that it wasn't plugged into the wall, so I had no power. So the truck never was plugged in this morning, and it was, you know, 30, felt like 23, and I went over and I started it up, and it was a cold start, that's for sure, and I knew that because of the way it sounded. So my bad on that. I won't do that again, I can tell you that much right now. And I'm going to say that because I've been saying that since for 7 months. I have a video when I painted the rims on the blue truck where I say that. I can tell you that much right now. And I thought to myself, did I just start saying this or not? Nope, I've been saying that for 7 months and some. So sorry if you get tired of hearing the same crap, but once in a while I'm going to say this stuff because I just say it when I say it when I'm saying stuff. So it's what it is. But I'm gonna get off here for now because I'm gonna drop this trailer. Then when I get home, we'll come back and I will shoot you on some stuff, you know what I'm saying, talk about some things like the stuff I wear to keep warm, and some of the things I do for the truck just to keep some of the wind coming through. So hopefully you guys enjoy this and you're all having a good day so far. Manic Monday, what can you say? Say goodbye, Frankenstein head. Till then, you know what we say. We will see ya. Well, just got back from the house today. Manic Monday. Gonna go inside and change. That way I can get some other stuff on. That way I don't get my work clothes dirty, because I will wear this stuff tomorrow again. I mean, not my like undershirt or anything like that, but the pants and, you know, the jacket and whatnot. I don't ever work on the trucks or do anything outside with that stuff on. I only do it for work, because if I'm going to climb under something, I don't want grease on this shit unless it happens while I'm at work, if you dig that. So while I'm doing that and until I come back, I'm gonna leave you with a clip. Met this gentleman a little bit ago, a few hours ago, and he was super nice, so hopefully you enjoy this. It was nice meeting Noah and talking to him, and hopefully someday I'll be able to go over to where they're at and you know, get some other stuff, because they've got some cool iron that's sitting around, so, and that they use. So that'll be cool if I get to see that. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and here's a clip for you. What we got here, folks, just pulled into Macomb to pick up my load, and I was walking out after I got my stuff, and I see this gentleman pulls up here, and what do we got here?
It's a 1981 362. It's got a big cam 4 in it, 13 speed. My grandpa's had it since the early 90s.
Nice.
We just restored it a couple years ago, so yeah, it's a running machine.
It's all original though, besides you guys do the paint and stuff?
Yeah, we had a custom shop, S&J Truck Sales in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Nice.
So yeah, they did a beautiful job on it.
Yeah, Huntington, Indiana's not far from here, so that's cool. And you said you only run this in the summertime mostly, because it's just sits in the wintertime, but you had some issues, so. Did you guys have the engine and everything rebuilt when you redid it or not?
Oh yeah.
Everything was overhauled, so it's basically a brand new truck.
Oh yeah.
Right on.
Yep, it's got a gazillion miles on it, but it runs like a dream.
That's how most of the older trucks do, and you don't have to worry about any of the crap either. So yeah, it's a really sharp truck.
Yep, I mean, I'll show you interior. Interior's pretty well stocked, but it's just super clean. Like,
oh yeah,
it's real nice.
It's sharp.
Nothing too fancy, but it's clean.
This is all original?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, that is sharp.
Yeah, my grandpa's old school, Jerry Heidi. We have a international Transstar 4070B model as well. And
nice.
He's just old school and likes to keep things clean, but
yeah, that's how you do
custom,
it. Yeah, custom clean, and they're yours, and that's it. That's how I like my stuff too. Nobody else has it, and you're not gonna see another one unless somebody copied off of you. So yeah, this is a super sharp truck, that's for sure.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I'm gonna do a quick walk around, and I'll let you go. That way you get your stuff done.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, look me up. I'm on Facebook too. Yeah, really nice. Nice truck. pulling a reefer. Not sure what he's picking up, but he's picking up some goods from out here. This thing is clean and mean, and one sexy machine. Got the dual stacks in there. Very nice. Well put together, that's for sure. Yeah, it's got the 3 wipers too, so that's really cool. Really cool. Noah, he said his name was Noah, was on the other side, so just got to meet Noah and see the truck that he's driving today. It's probably like 32 maybe out. It probably feels like it's about 26. It really hasn't warmed up any from this morning, but at least the sun's out and it ain't snowing or raining. So until next time, you know what we say, we will see ya. Well, folks, I'm back. I'm out in the garage here, and this is what I was talking about. This air conditioner window seal is what I use for, you know, up in that steering wheel boot that is under the cab. Stays dried, never been wet before that I know of, and I've already got a piece shoved up in there. It was just sticking down some, probably from when I redid that stuff and put that flex seal around there, because I had that hole, you know, that rip. So that's what I use on that, and I also shove that up behind the dash if there's any leaks. And sometimes where the wires come in at, you got to stick them in there too, because they have a tendency to leak, because those seals last 30 some years. And I also have, you know, some of this stuff that I just throw in places if I need to. If there's any gaps or anything, I'll fill them like that. We'll walk out to the blue truck and I'll give you a somewhat of a demonstration versus the green truck on how those are set up with the heaters and stuff. Because when they switch those models over, there's only one spot where your feet come out for the blue truck, which is an 83, versus the green truck, which is a 90. And I'm sure when they went over to the E's, I believe in 85, they probably swapped them over to where there's different heating for the bottom. Now this one only has this box down here, okay, where my finger's pointing, and there's only a little gap back here, which I know you can't see, but there's only a little slit for that heat to come out by the floor. And then there's one over here on the side, which what I did was I took a paper towel roll, and I know that sounds ghetto, but I taped it up there to cover that hole to where it shoots heat down here from my other foot, because only heat would go right here. And this already has some insulation on this firewall. But to be honest with you, that actually works fine, and it served its purpose well. And here's what I'm talking about, where the wires are at and stuff back here. Now, other places where you can have air leaks are right here where this shifter boot is. That is why I put that kind of foam down, and then I put duct tape over it to hold it down, because, you know, that had a bad air gap too. So this truck isn't bad in the winter time. And honestly, if you're dressed right, that thing can sweat you out. So let's go over to the green truck and I'll show you the difference between that, where, you know, the floor heat comes out. Because over here, there's 2 spots, and it's actually nice because it has this, there's a tube that goes right here that runs into the heater box, and it pushes down. So you've got this little swivel thing right here that you can put wherever you want to for it. And then there's this right here that kicks out. So this is for this side, and this is for this side. And this firewall doesn't have anything, but it does have some foam back here. And these wires might need to have something shoved up in there to keep it. But like, this is the boot I was talking about. It's leaking up around here in the top, and obviously I can't wrap anything around here because this is a moving part, but I do have that stuff shoved up underneath there to keep anything from shooting up too much. But you know, there's gonna be some, but not as much. And when I took this off, I showed you all this stuff on how there could have been gaps and stuff like that. But so this is pretty much okay for the most part. I don't have any issues with it. But I guess it all just depends on how you dress. You know, if you're gonna run a Cabover and something like this in the wintertime, you can't necessarily be in a pair of jeans and tennis shoes and just a sweater or something. You need to be dressed for, you know, the weather. Like, I wear a pair of water resistant and wind resistant pants that are insulated in the wintertime when it's, you know, between 30 and 50 degrees. That way I know that my legs and stuff are going to stay warm for the wind, water, whatever I got to deal with, the elements. And then when it gets super cold, I have a pair of Arctic bibs that are black that have got the high vis on them. And then I have a Arctic coat that I also have that I got from highvis.com. And if you look them up, there is a Sasquatch that is their logo that they use. That's why you'll see in the truck I have those stickers, because that's who I order my stuff from. And I have a pair of, they're like, they're DBS. They were Brian Deegan's shoes. He was a motocross and BMX rider. So he had a pair of skateboarder, maybe, I don't know, high top, winter shoes made. And that's what I wear until it gets super cold. And then I have a pair of waterproof, like the almost like muck boots, but they're not. They're just the snow boots, and they're heavily insulated, that I'll wear because, you know, I don't want my feet freezing or anything like that. And I always layer up, that way I'm warm. And I'll take my coat off and stuff, and 90% of the time I've got to roll my window down because I'm so hot and sweating constantly. But I just, you know, get out so much. That's what I do. And anybody that flatbeds knows that. You're getting out, you're dealing with the elements and stuff like that. And a lot of dudes will just wear Carhartt bibs and things like that. I can't wear them because I don't like to be stiff like that. I'd rather be able to move around. And the Arctic stuff I have are like, you know, made for snow, and they're very movable. But there's, you know, the elements can't cut through that stuff, so I don't freeze or anything like that. So that's how I stay warm in the winter time. But, you know, to each their own. Everybody does things different. So that's just what I do. You know, and anybody that's running an old truck like that knows that there's gaps and stuff. And I've heard everybody says they freeze in a cab over, but I really do okay. I've run my truck for 3 years, or I've run a cab over for at least 3 years, the last 3 years in the wintertime, and I've been fine. The first year with the blue truck, you know, I had to figure out where all the gaps were coming from and air was coming in, and fix all that up to where I was okay. And then last year with the green truck, I did the same thing basically. And I don't know anybody besides Steve from FFC and me that runs a cab over in the wintertime that does YouTube. I know Tim has Gentry, that is, has cab overs, but I don't think he runs them in the wintertime consistently like me or Steve would do. So, you know, that's one of them things that you just got to prepare. And if that's what you got to do for your truck to stay warm, that's what you got to do. You run old iron. You got to make sacrifices because, you know, there isn't all the insulation that's in some of the new trucks. So it's what it is. And I will probably pick up some stuff for the firewall for that truck, just a little bit of more protection. But like I said, I really don't do too bad in the green truck in the wintertime because I'll dress properly. And, you know, worst case scenario, I may get a little cold, but nothing major. When I stop and stuff like that, that cab heats up so much, I have to turn the heater off because, you know, it's just an oven in there when it's just sitting and idling. It's when I'm moving and the wind blows right and catches the door gaps or anything like that to where I might feel a breeze come around, but nothing to where I'm like freezing. And if I would ever have to sleep in that truck, I know I'd be fine as long as I could keep it idling. You know, if it would shut down on me, I may be in trouble, but I usually carry packing blankets and a sleeping bag with that bed to where if I need to cover up and stuff like that and stay warm, I can. So that's the tips from me. There's all kinds of things you can do. You can get those heated blankets. You can run with those little hand warmers to keep those in your truck. That way you have, you know, things that you need, and always make sure you got water and stuff like that. That way if you do get stranded on the side of the road, you're not gonna, you know, run out of water and you got something to drink. And crackers and things like that's always smart to have in your truck. Like, I don't do the truck stop hop when I'm out driving. I never eat out. Always pack a lunch or pack something to eat. Always have something to snack on in the truck. Always take plenty of water bottles with me from home so I'm not spending a ton of money at the truck stop. Like I said, I don't eat fast food, so it's not like I'm eating there. If I was to stop for a meal, the only reason why it would be is because I have the wife with me and we're going to a sit-down restaurant at a truck stop that's, you know, highly credible. Other than that, that's not happening. I'll eat at home when I get home, or I'll eat before I leave, which I usually don't do. Sometimes I do, but most of the time it's just I'll eat when I get home. But if I had to and I got stuck at a truck stop because I was in the snow, yes, I would eat there. But, you know, just, it's one of those things where I'm fortunate to where I'm home every day to where I don't have to worry about that stuff. And if something does happen to me, there's a tow company, or I'm not that far to where I can't have somebody come and get me, and I can leave the truck stranded if I had to, and, you know, go get it the next day or take care of it. So always keep that in mind when you're out in the wintertime in a older truck. Bounce around, because you never know what could happen. So I have had some feedback on the power service and stuff like that. A lot of good reviews. A few people say they like Howes. That's fine. You know, it's whatever you want to use in the wintertime, whatever makes you happy. And I've also heard people dumping gasoline in their diesel when they add it to mix it to keep it from freezing. I've never done it. Not sure, you know, but I've heard that, and I've seen it on different Facebook groups and forums and stuff like that to do in the wintertime, but I've just never done it. So it's one of those things, I guess. But those are cash trucks. Let's talk about cash trucks real quick. I was talking with Trucker Sean the other day on the phone, and we were talking about cash trucks because I had a guy comment and say I was dumping too much money in my trucks. Well, I guess what he doesn't understand is I'm an owner-operator, and these are trucks that are paid for with cash that I don't have payments on, so I don't have to worry about making payments. So if I got to put money into my truck because it's simple maintenance, that's just what you have to do, you know. And it's just one of those things where you need to make sure your truck is taken care of. I can't neglect certain things on those trucks, because if something would go wrong in the future, it would be more, you know, catastrophic versus me taking care of them now and putting a little bit of maintenance in them. I'm going to do that. That's how I make my living, and I think I'm doing okay if I have 3 of them, you know, and I have one just sitting around for a backup truck. It's not like I just have one truck and it's the only truck, and if it breaks down, I'm in trouble because I've got a ton of bills. Because, well, I have myself set up to where, you know, I don't have a ton of bills, and whatever I make off that truck is profit in revenue. And if I got to put money back into it, it's a tax write-off, because that's what you do for maintenance and stuff like that. And it's not like those things will just run forever. They do need maintenance, you know, and things taken care of here and there. So I just kind of ignored that and just thought, whatever. I don't know where you're coming from saying things like that, but, you know, everybody that has a truck has problems. I'm fortunate that I have mechanical trucks that I don't have to worry about sensors or anything like that, going wrong every time the season changes, because it doesn't like, you know, the certain amount of weather. That those trucks run fine all year round. I don't really have any problems in the wintertime. I will throw the winter front on the blue truck here because it needs it, and it's right here. It's the original one, just like I got the original bug screen. So that'll be something that I'll be throwing on the blue truck, even though it probably won't be being run. And I do have a winter front that I made last year for the Frankenstein truck, which is right over here. I can grab and show you. And I actually had to take this off when it was in the accident, because it was on there. I'll throw it right down here on this carpet real quick. I just went up and got a piece of vinyl from, you know, Joann's or Hobby Lobby or whatever, and then I just got those snap rings that I could basically do myself, and then I just zip tie it on, because that's all I need to do. I've got the hole right here in the center, and then I've got a spot over here for the turbo to be cooled down. But yeah, I just zip tie that on there, and that covers that perfectly. So I didn't, you know, I wanted to order one offline, and I know that they've got them at Iowa 80 and stuff like that, but I, you know, and I could go to an upholstery and have them made, a shop like that, but for what I needed it for, quick fix, because that truck runs 190 pretty much until it gets down to like 5 degrees, and then it might start running a little less. So I don't need to put that thing on until it's super cold, versus the blue truck, as soon as it hits 45, 50 degrees, I got to throw that winter front on and zip it and unzip it and make sure it's getting enough to where it's not getting too hot, but it stays warm enough, because that 350 Cummins versus that Caterpillar, the temperatures are completely different in those trucks for staying warm. So that's one thing to think of too, you know, throwing a winter front on to try to stop some of that wind from coming in and getting on that motor. So You know, there's a lot of things in running these trucks, these cabovers in the wintertime that you have to know and prepare for. And that's, I think a lot of guys run into those kind of problems when they buy a truck like that. They think, oh, I want to run a cabover because of the nostalgia, or I like them because they're cool. But they don't realize what all goes into running a truck like that. The fact that you got to jack the cab up every time you got to get to the engine and things like that. You know, in the wintertime, that can be kind of a hassle, but it's just one of those things that you got to do when you run a cabover, and you just got to be prepared for it. So my advice is make sure you know what you're getting into when you buy one, because it's not all peaches and keen and looking cool running down the road with a cabover getting you know, some attention. You got to really know what you're getting into when you buy them. And I know, you know, I see a lot of people, they'll buy them because they want one because they're cool and stuff like that, and then a few months later they'll end up selling it because they just can't handle climbing up and down in that truck, the way they ride, things of that nature. And I've been doing it for, like I said, 3 years. I don't think I'd ever go back to a hood because I just like them. That's just me personally, and I know people will disagree with that, and that's fine. That's just my opinion of them, and you're more than welcome to have your own. But for me, that's my home right there, is in one of those. So that's what I'll continue to run all the time. So hopefully this is a little helpful with winter driving and things like that, just to try to keep yourself warm. If you do have one and you're watching this, just be prepared for stuff like that, and know the things that you can do. Be resourceful with what you have, and any little thing that helps you out will benefit your mental state while you're trucking and stuff like that, because nobody wants to be cold and pissed. I can tell you that much right now. I'd rather be hot and sweat than cold and wet any day of the week. That's all I got to say. So until the next time, you know what we say, we will see ya.